Hi, this is Graham Jeacocke. Now, I noticed that a few music teachers on YouTube platform are talking about competitions, piano competitions. Now, personally, I I hate competitions because they bring out the worst attributes in somebody. But leaving that aside, I want to contrast it or illustrate it better. Just what a pianist of the piano world permits by having piano competitions. Now, let's contrast it with tennis competitions. I don't know if you're a tennis fan. I am a tennis fan. I've been a tennis fan, well, I was born in 76. I watched, was it in 1985, Boris Becker win at Wimbledon. I don't know if that was my first year watching tennis or it's my first recollection of a memory watching tennis because of the impact of Boris Becker. But here's the thing about tennis competitions. When you have a competition, you encourage rankings of a player. Now, a ranking of a player does not necessarily mean that that player is in that position of ability. They could be much higher or they could be much lower. It's based on a unfortunate unfortunate way of matches. If you lose a match or you win a match, now that doesn't reflect the ability of a player. That just reflects a player on that particular day. But that doesn't reflect the ability overall of a player. Now, you have rankings, okay, which means you're encouraging a player to better themselves, okay, in a good way. And you're contrasting other players lower down. Now, if we are to take since I'm from the UK, I'm Team GBR, right? And there are so many players representing GBR, okay? But they have to be ranked. Now, Emma Raducanu is ranked number 1. But if you cast your minds back several months, after her Wimbledon, it was 150, okay, or thereabouts. Now, I have to, back to the piano. When you have piano competitions, right, you are permitting people to rank pianists, okay? Now, you're going to say one pianist has a greater ability than the other, okay? Now, it would be interesting to rank pianists, not by winning competitions, but how successful they are on the actual recital circuit. That's like the competition circuit in tennis. You have all these tournaments, okay? You have the Grand Slam tournaments, okay? And you get roughly 2,000 plus points if you win it. Now, throughout the year, you have smaller tournaments. You have the 1,000 point tournament. And that's what's currently people are entering in the tennis world, okay? Those who want to enter it, okay? But then you have smaller tournaments. You have the 500 point tournament, the 250 point tournament, right? And all these players are trying to win that tournament, so they have a higher ranking. Now, pianists, okay, or piano players, whatever term you want, because they're all in the same wagon, so to speak. You're trying to get your rankings up. You're trying to be a better, well-rounded pianist or musician. I prefer the term musician because being a pianist, to say you're labelled a pianist, not so great as being labelled a musician. Because you can be a great pianist, right, by executing, but you don't have any musicality by playing, okay? Now, when you rank pianists, okay, what are you actually doing? Well, if we refer back to tennis, what do commentators do in tennis matches? Well, I remember McEnroe, and he keeps on coming up. Does this player have the mental strength to win? Now, sadly, in the musical world, unless you have a sport background, many pianists will struggle with this mindset of being mentally strong. And this is where competitions do not prepare pianists to be aware of what they're getting themselves into. So, because we permit piano competitions, we can say to a pianist, does this pianist have the mental strength to play such and such music? Now, that pianist can either absorb the comment and make it and prove the others wrong by proving to themselves they can play that type of music, or they can get lost in their self-doubt, which is the side effect of having competitions in general. Now, the question is, in Great Britain, we have so many pianists and so many piano players, okay? But in the name of competitions, we can rank them. So, I have to understand where I am in the big picture of pianists in Great Britain. Before I conquer the world, I need to know my place. I have to have perspective. If I can't be great in Great Britain, what hope have I to have outside? Well, this is where Christianity comes in, because a prophet is never appreciated in their own hometown, which is what Jesus demonstrated. Jesus preached to his own where he grew up, right? Jesus preached what he preached, and people rejected him. So he had to go elsewhere. And this is what the point I was raising with competitions. If your own country fails to recognise you, you can go outside it, because that is the whole point of competition. But I want to know, what are the rankings of pianists in GBR? Where does Stephen Huff sit on the list? Is he number 14? Is he number 2? Is he number 1? I can't recollect just other names of British pianists. So Stephen Huff will have to bear the brunt of my questioning. So how good is Stephen Huff as a pianist? I mean, if Stephen Huff allows competitions, right, he permits how people look on a pianist, how they judge their abilities. And when you judge a person's ability, you have to judge their character. So this is a controversial area, because atheists are saying, how can you judge a person's character? Where do you get the authority? Well, sports give me the justification that I could criticise someone's character, because that is what competitions are doing. In the name of competitions, you can criticise a character. Just like in the name of a psychiatry, a psychiatrist can question the activity of an individual. You see, if I was to question the activity of an individual, somebody would say, where do you get your right to tell me what things I can or cannot do in my personal life? You see, but I could come back, well, if Christ is true and Christ understood a person's lifestyle, contributed to their overall way they lived in their life, yes, you can confront a person with their character, because you're not the one confronting the person with their character. Jesus is the one showing the person that the character could be bad. But secularists like atheism take the route of competitions. In the name of competitions, yes, you can look at the character of a person. You can judge it. But there's two types of judging. There is a positive judging and there is a negative way to judge. Sport coaches judges their athletes, okay? If they're good, always in a positive way. But they can slip up and judge in a negative way, because we're all humans. You see, you judge someone to make them better. You see, if I was to say that person is fat, I'm judging them in a negative way. But if I say, look at the research done by the health standards of what obesity can what obesity can do in a negative way. You're introducing them to a way that they're trying to make you better. They're not trying to drag you down. You have to have perspective on many things in life. But anyway, that's all I wanted to say. Keep those competitions going. I want to see what pianists have the mental strength to really be the great musician that they think they are. Because who's the GOAT in tennis, right? Who's the GOAT in the piano world? Come on, you're having these competitions. You're deliberately putting another person against another person and saying, that musician is a better musician than that other one who lost in the previous round.